Hi, my name is Elizabeth Anthony, and I am in the IFS Tourist Trap course at FSU. And for my tourist destination, I chose to go to the Florida Aquarium, which is located in Tampa, Florida, and it's right in the downtown part of Tampa, and it's strategically located outside of Tampa's waterfront Channelside district. It was founded in 1995, and it lies near the Tampa Port Authority Cruise Terminal. And this is the point of the departure for cruise ships heading to Mexico, Bahamas, basically anywhere. This is like the tourist place because of everything around it. So the fact that the aquarium is also just right there in the middle, it just demands attention. There's like a stingray outside of it and like a lot of decorations. It's impossible to like not notice. It's also walking distance from the Ice Palace, which is home of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I've also noticed and read about how, because the Tampa Bay Lightning are doing so well now, and that's actually bringing a lot of people to the Tampa Bay area, specifically downtown, and also just encouraging more tourists to like see the aquarium in itself. So the downtown area is definitely flourishing, and this is really, really good for the aquarium in itself. So I will be talking about my experience at the tourist attraction that I'm doing, which is the aquarium. And also, I personally found a fascination with the way that young children interacted with the staff and with the information that they were learning and with the just being there in itself. I really, really was looking at that, and it surprised me at the way that the younger generation was their infatuation with it. So I will be elaborating on that in this video. And I'm first going to start with my experience walking in. So after physically entering the aquarium, I was welcomed to take a picture in front of a green screen. And the background could be chosen by sharks and turtles, and it was kitschy and it was a little cheesy, but it was cute, and people of all ages were doing it, and I'm really glad I did it. And then you could pick up the picture taken of you at the end, and then to the right of it, directly to the right of the picture taking station, there was a gift shop with toys, jewelry, t-shirts, mugs. And this is what I liked about it. Fossils, books for all ages. There were children's books, and then there were very thick, mature, high vocabulary books for people who were very, very interested. So I got, mug magnets and stuff like that, but it was really cool, and it clearly was for everyone of all ages. And then across the hall from the gift shop was a large tank, and this was the first thing that you would kind of see, and there were a bunch of people clustered around it, and under this tank that didn't even have a top on it was a very small decorated sharks, and you could just look down in it, and you were welcome to do so and just observe. And then there would be a staff member explaining things about the sharks and what they eat, and just information. They encouraged questions after the presentation was over. And then to the right of it was Cafe Ray, which was where you'd sit and eat food, and it was just a cafe. And then upstairs to the escalator, there was immediately as you go up the escalator, there was a tank of fish, and then above it there was a bunch of woodsy decorations, and then above all the fake wood and tree and stuff. It was very beautifully decorated. It looked very real, but there behind that was a tank. So it felt like walking into this, it was darker, and you felt like you were actually in a fish tank almost, because of everything around you besides the hallway that you just came from is clear and filled with fish and is basically a tank. So I felt like that was very interesting. And there was also other places, like little nooks in the aquarium where it would be darker than others. There was this one spot where I actually just walked in and it was pitch black, and then just jellyfish were like around, like in the tank obviously, but the fact that it was so dark, it emphasized the jellyfish's like colors and everything about it. So that was really interesting. They definitely decorated the actual like aquarium in relation to their animals, and I thought that that was very interesting, and it was appealing to the eye, and it also it infatuated the children more than anything, and that's something that I didn't think that children would appreciate it the way that I did, but they did, and it was awesome. So I would like to elaborate on the children's perspective, but I noticed that there was not one child crying, screaming at all. I was expecting that just because a bunch of kids, I would think that, you know, kids would maybe get fussy or kind of maybe bored, even though, you know, upon going there, clearly you couldn't have been bored just because how beautiful the place is in itself. But children during presentations would ask questions, would politely ask questions, sit there and listen to the response that staff members gave. And I really respected the staff members too, because they answered every question so respectfully, regardless of the person who asked age. Like, they would give a 20-year-old the same respect as a 5-year-old, as a 70-year-old, whatever. It just was like, if you're here to learn and you're interested in our animals, then we will give you all the information you need in like a very helpful and kind way. And I really respected that in the staff and in the attraction in itself. It makes you want to go back, and it makes you want to learn and not feel stupid for asking maybe a obvious question. So I really appreciated that. And then also something that I really liked doing, I forgot how much it was. I think it was $30 to $50. But you could stay and set an appointment and play with, like, in a small group of other tourists. You could play with penguins, and these penguins were actually, I got to do that. It was really cool and cute, and I'll show a video soon. But you got to meet all the little penguins. There were about 7 of them, and watch them play. You got to pet with them, take pictures of them, and at first I was a little skeptical because I felt like maybe this would be like animal cruelty, or I don't know how they were treated. But so that was one of the questions that I really wanted to ask in my first essay, or my second essay actually. But in order to, you know, figure out if animals were treated badly or not, I asked, interviewed Catherine Clater, and she is the Relations and Media Request for the Florida Aquarium. And I basically asked, you know, because of the Cove and because of SeaWorld and because of all of these places that are getting so much heat for the way, you know, ringlings, for the way that they treat animals, how is the Florida Aquarium combating and debunking these like stereotypes and these just this bad light that unfortunately some of like SeaWorld and even the other things in Florida are doing or treating badly, like SeaWorld. SeaWorld is not treating their animals correctly, and so I wanted to ask how the Florida Aquarium is treating their animals. And so she explained that most of the animals in the Florida Aquarium are endangered species or rescued, and they would otherwise be incapable of surviving in the wild. And she also further explained that the Florida Aquarium is a proud member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, which showcases sincere dedication for the well-being of animals. And that leaves tourists, and that definitely left me feeling guilt-free and just happy that I spent my day, money, time, learned from people that cared about much more actually, but a very great amount, care a lot about animals. So I really am glad that I spent my day there, and I highly recommend going. It is not overwhelming with kids. I thought that it was going to be like that. I just wanted to mention it because I think it's comforting to know that children can be off their TVs or video games or phones and really, really get into something that is also simultaneously like a tourist attraction. I think that's great. So I highly recommend going there. Maybe during the weekday, because the weekends do get crowded, but anytime is great. The staff is amazing, and I hope you have a great time if you decide to go, and thank you for watching.